Hi, and welcome to Take 5 from 12-Minute Tutor, where we answer a key industry question in 5 minutes or less. I'm Jay Minucci from Service Agility. The question I'm going to answer today: what metrics matter in real time? It's a real-time environment. That's why we've got all this chaos in contact centers, right? Of course, it's not just metrics that affect our real time, it's events too. We're going to focus on metrics here. We're going to look at those things that tell us about what's happening now, not 10 minutes ago, and that probably require some kind of group response. But I don't want to ignore events. There are things that happen in contact centers, social media posts, customer feedback. Normally, it's the negative things or things that might drive a huge volume hit. And we need to have processes in place so that we can respond to those. And we need to respond to them quickly. So they're real-time things, but they're not real-time metrics. We want to focus on the metrics. So let's do that. Let's think in terms of what do we normally display out there. And most of our centers, we've got some kind of digital signage out there and reader boards. But even if we don't have that, what are we displaying on desktops for people to see? Well, true real-time metrics, I want to talk about those versus what I call near real-time metrics and see how to use them both. The true real-time metrics, calls and queue, is a huge one that we have to be taking a look at in our contact centers. It is truly real-time. When you see that number, it's what's happening now or what's happening in whatever time it takes our ACD to refresh that statistic, which is usually 5, 10, 15 seconds. So it's really happening now. Agents available is happening now. And I would like to see that, because if I've got too many agents available, well, then I'm probably overstaffed and maybe I want to rethink about my activities. But if I've got calls in queue, right, then I won't see agents available. But then I want to see, where are they dispersed? Are they in talk or are they in wrap? If there's a lot of calls in queue, but a lot of my staff's in wrap already, well, that's great. They're going to get to those calls pretty quickly. If they're not in wrap but they're in talk, then they're not going to get to it quickly. That's going to create a different reaction from me. If I have a real-time adherence module for my workforce management system, love to see that percent. That tells me really quick, okay, in this queuing issue, is it a case of adherence or am I just getting more traffic than I expected? Now, if I don't have that, but I've got a workforce management system, well, I'd like to drop on my display, well, what are the number of agents scheduled for this moment? Because that can kind of get me to the same thing that real-time adherence percent's getting. Now, that's the data that I can use to real quickly figure out what's going on and what's the main cause. One other thing that I'd like to know, just to understand the customer experience a little bit, what's the longest waiting? It tells me a little bit about, what the customer has experienced, the one that's been waiting the longest in queue, and that might tell me a little bit about how quickly I need to respond. Those are real-time metrics. I think we all need to be watching these. A lot of times I'll see some other metrics that people think of as real-time. I call them near real-time. I still think they're important, even though they're not real-time, but they're important to provide what I would call informative context, a little bit more deeper information. So I think it's important to separate them and understand that's not really giving me the real-time picture. Service level, average speed of answer, when that's displayed, it may well be for the interval so far or for the past 10 minutes, and either of those can be real different from real-time. Same is true of the abandon rate. But I like seeing them because to me, it's helpful. It gives me some context to, okay, let me put my current situation, which I'm using my real-time metrics to determine, into context related to this entire day. So if I determine, hey, I'm in a queuing situation and it's a little bit more than I would like it to be, then I can go to this informative context data and say, okay, how does that fit in with how the rest of the day has been? If the rest of the day has been really good, maybe I don't react in the same way. So that's my take on it. Love to get your comments. If you're a member of 12-Minute Tutor, go on to this video, post your comments on the message board. If not, come on board. You can get started for free, 12minutetutor.com. Thanks.